I'm Ivan Stefanec, member of European Parliament, Slovakia, European People's Party. Democracy in Europe is shrinking, particularly in Central and Eastern Europe, but we see this trend also in some Western countries. So the trend which is quite worrying. There is the rise of nationalism, the rise of extremism. I think there are many politicians who see just national interest and they don't see common European interest. I do believe that we should talk about that, and we can win this fight, if I can say so, only if we have more politicians who prefer common European interests. First point is that really we applied sanctions to Russia because of their policy to Ukraine. We don't have any army as European Union, but we have in hands our tools which we used in this case, and that's the tool of sanction against Russia and the tool of developmental aid for Ukraine. That's how we can handle this case, and we can see that to some extent it helped. It helped, but unfortunately still we see the war in eastern Ukraine, and we would like to do everything what is possible in order to stop Russian aggression and to stop these fights. We see also regarding relations to Russia that Russia is helping to raise some extremism. Russia is fighting against EU unity, which is not our intention. Unfortunately, they support some extremist parties like Front National in France, some in Hungary, some in Slovakia. Almost in any European country there is some point which is or some person which is supported by them. We can see also quite worrying rates of misinformation campaign which we have to address, and the address from European institutions was that it was created so-called threat force, and those are the people who work with facts, and they just try to reveal misinformation campaign, they reveal lies, and they are coming with the right facts. Because still we live in time of information revolution, so information is available everywhere, and not every people can handle that. Unfortunately, still more and more people, particularly young people, they believe so-called alternative media. Therefore, we have to be very cautious about that, and we have to provide the facts. It's up to people in democratic country, up to people what they choose, but they have to have enough information, and they should not work only with misinformation campaign, but they should get the right information at their disposal. Yes, that's a very important point, because we don't share information enough within European Union. We still, for example, we don't have our common defense policy. European Union is very strong economical power, but we are not strong enough in area of defense, in area of our internal and external security, and that's what we have to address. There is a lot of discussion in the European Parliament, for example, about this topic, because we have to improve our internal security, at least by sharing information among secret services, country by country. There is a talk about creation potential European intelligence service, and also talk about so-called European army. But what is important, it must be under the umbrella of NATO, because we don't want to create double capacity, but rather to create dual system within NATO, talking about our external security. I hope so, because it is our threat, really. The international terrorism is the threat for the whole world, and I'd like to see much faster action and much more involvement from NATO. I know that NATO is a big organization taking care about our security, and sometimes decision making is not really fast enough, but this is our best security umbrella and the best way how to provide security for European and US citizens. I do believe that our common security policy also should be still developed in future, and should address also all the security threats in the world. Not only that, we should develop, I think, also our common economical policy between US and Europe, which is another major issue, and that's not only about TTIP, our common trade agreement and investment protection, but it's about our strategies, how we go ahead, and what we are going to promote in the world. Because if we are not establishing standards of our products, services, so maybe Asia is going to do that, and it's the threat that later on, if we are too late, we will be just copying the standards and not creating them. So there are the challenges not only for our common security, but also for common economical policy. As far as I know, courts are the largest nation in the world which don't have their own state, and we should be very open about that. And it should be the part of this solution. I think there is still not any official plan yet, but this point should be part of a final plan how to solve still very, very unfortunate and dangerous situation in Syria and in surrounding countries, because nobody is happy what's going on, particularly in Syria, and we have to do all the best, everything what is possible in order to stop the fight, because also it's very much connected with migration crisis to Europe, which we feel very much. But we have to talk, if we want to tackle immigration crisis, we have to call about the roots, about the sources of this crisis, and that's the situation in Syria. And situation with Kurds must be the part of the solution. Well, that's very much, honestly, I cannot say yes or no, because it depends on many talks, but what I can say that Kurds deserve their own state. That's what I can say for sure, and we should talk about that very, very, very openly. That's part of solution, not only Syria, but part of solution of relations with Turkey, as we know, and that's currently quite tensed and complicated, because there is still official intention of Turkey to go into European Union. They are asking for membership, but there is not united view to this point. Honestly, I'm rather preferring solutions of having very close defense strategy with Turkey and economical ties, but not full membership. Because full membership, it means to share the same culture, the same values, which are not kept currently, as we can see in Turkey, particularly after last months and after tense situation which is now in Turkey. So that's the point. We know that situation of Kurds must be addressed also in a negotiation, not only with Syria but also with Turkey, and should be the part of solution of this situation.